It's actually probably going to be quite a long one. But it's going to be interesting. So stick with it and feel sorry for me, because that's just what this one is. There's no crying though. There is no crying in this one, so we're good. Welcome. I actually look like an egg. I am too pale for this country. This is actually quite amusing. I look like an egg. I've just got out the shower, so my hair is wet, looks a mess, and it's obviously the perfect time to show myself to the internet. Of course. So, this guy decided that I was the one for him. I'm pretty sure he broke up with his girlfriend because he wanted to get with me, and I was like, please don't do that, because I do not want to be the reason somebody else has broken up, because I got a quite a bad track record and I've broken quite a few couples up. This guy was like, oh, you're the only one for me, you do stuff that nobody else has ever done before, you make me genuinely happy, all of this. Like, using his words, he was fucked up. That's how you get a girl, by the way. You text them saying, we're both equally as fucked up. Don't do that. That's... So this one time, we're in his room, and, you know, he's showing off. He's like, oh look, I've got my own business cards. This is actually a fencing business card. But he's like, look how cool my cards are. I'm all professional. And then he goes, look, and he flicks it, and bearing in mind it's probably about a good metre and a half between us, and he aims it that way. I'm very unlucky, and it came fling around straight into my eye. So, first month at uni, and I have a business card in my eye. So I come upstairs because he's all like, oh, I'm like, mate, calm down. Like, you're not the one that just had the business card in your eye. Stop acting such a prima donna. So I came up, and about 5 minutes, and I'm like, I still can't actually open my eye. This is very painful. So I call 111, and they're like, you need to go to hospital because it's not a good thing. And while I kind of realised that, yes, I did need to go to the hospital, I was kind of hoping that they'd be like, oh, that's fine, you know, just sleep it off. No. So I had to call an RA because I had no clue where the nearest hospital was. I had no cash. I also couldn't see. Yeah, so I've been in a bit of an accident, and I've kind of got a business card in my eye. And like, they've told me to go to hospital, can you help? And they came up, and they thought that I'd like just cut up here or something. And I was like, no, business card right in my eye. Also, I can hear that today's Thursday, and they test the fire alarms in flats between 1 and 4. And I can hear them going off in the other building. So any minute now, they're going to do ours, and I'm probably going to shit myself. So the RAs came round, and they were like, oh, that's in your eye. I was like, yeah, you can actually see the scratch going down it. Need to go to hospital. And they're like, don't worry, we've got this sorted. They called their boss person. They're like, right, he's calling you a taxi. He's going to be out front in like 10 minutes. And I was like, well, I haven't got any money to pay for it. So, they're like, oh no, it's fine because we've called. It's free. You're all sorted. It's like, great. This is fun. And I was like, I need some help though because I can't get there by myself. So they found this guy that did my eye, and we went to the hospital. And I don't really remember much of the journey because I was in that much pain. Like, quite proud of myself, didn't cry, but I was in enough pain that I had no clue what was going on. So they sat me down and they're like, have you had any painkillers? Do you want some ibuprofen? I was like, I'm allergic to ibuprofen. Cannot have ibuprofen. Like, but how are you allergic to ibuprofen? Like, if I'm allergic to it, you shouldn't be giving me it, regardless of the level of allergicness. Like if somebody says, oh, I'm allergic to peanuts, you're not going to be like, well, here's some peanut butter. It's a different kind of peanut. You're not going to be allergic to it. It doesn't matter that your throat swells up. Nah, it's fine. Like, honestly. So they eventually went, alright, okay, maybe we shouldn't give you ibuprofen. Anyway, we eventually got some codeine. And my tolerance to codeine's quite alright. Like 15, fine. Slight lag. 30, you can see the lag, it's obvious, and not everything I say has relevance to the conversation. 45 is where it starts getting really patchy. Like, I can still have enough of a conversation so you kind of get what's going on, I kind of know what's going on, but then you'll have part of the conversation that comes in from 10 minutes ago, and I think it's just happened, and I start to get quite dozy. But 60. 60 apparently just knocks me out, and I was asleep for like a few hours, which was great, but it didn't take the pain away. So every time I woke up, I was like, just let me go back to sleep. So like, I was there a few hours, and then the nurse eventually came out, and she had a Harry Potter lanyard on. At this point, the codeine was really at its high, and I was not any scent. Like, that was a prime example of what I'm like on codeine. There was no sense of coming out of me at all. And I looked at her lanyard, and I was like, great, it's a Harry Potter lanyard. It's really cool. And I just looked at her and went, lanyard? And she was like, codeine, yeah? It was a bit embarrassing. So yeah, we got back. I'm so fidgety. And he ended up sleeping in my bed, and I'm not entirely sure why, but okay, sure. I have no recollection of that. I remember waking up being like, oh my god, I felt so shit. We went to the next hospital, and I can't remember which one it was. It was one in London. So he took me there because I still couldn't see. I had one eye patched and this eye had no clue what it was doing. And yeah, they were like, you're fine. I've got all the photos there, I know I've said. And they were like, yeah, you're fine. You've got a scratch. Wear the patch. Here's some eye drops. Just be careful. Don't go swimming. Which was quite a problem because I just got a job at the pool as a lifeguard. And they're like, yeah, you can't go swimming. Shit. So this guy then thought because we shared a bed together that everything was great, even though he'd kind of forgotten about the fact that he threw a business card in my eye. But you know, sure. I went home in October, it's half term, and he followed me and was like, I need to tell you something. I was like, shit. Bearing in mind I had been avoiding him for like 3 days before this because I knew it was coming. And he's like, I'll text you. And I was like, please don't. But he texted me and it kind of went from there. I found them. And I'm just going to go through some of my favourites. So we have, I like you enough to not want to make the same shitty mistakes we both make. It's like, thanks. Like, honestly, these are so bad. Oh. So we picked his clothes up and all the stuff that he left at his ex's, who also lives on campus, by the way. Yeah, that's great. And I was like, oh, great, that's good. Then he was on about proving some point. I'm not sure which point he was proving here. Then he goes on to say that he's moving on and making himself a better person. When he's better, things might be different, meaning that I like him back, which it's not going to happen. And then he said that I hadn't said something quite important. And I was like, well, what's that? He's like, oh, well, you didn't say you didn't like me back. It's like, alright. He's like, well, do you? And I just replied, I've said before, I can't feel this way for you. So, you know, I told him from the start, I've mentioned this I think earlier on, that I didn't have any feelings for him and I wouldn't have any feelings for him. But he still went on to say that he wasn't giving up. He's liked me for a while and known from the beginning what it means. I'm not a relationship girl, but he doesn't think that I realise that I'm not after a relationship. And then, let's face the facts. We're both pretty fucked up people, and we're both absolute train wrecks when it comes to dating. How to get a girl 101. So, let's just be brutally honest. It probably wouldn't work the way we are currently, so I wanted to try something different. And I guess that different thing isn't like friendship, but more like a relationship. But not. We do everything we normally do. We enjoy each other's company, but we don't try to be this thing we both know wouldn't work. And I guess it sounds stupid, but I think it's the only thing that would work for either of us. Honestly. And yeah, oh, favourite one though. And I guess all I can say is, you know, I'm genuine and that you know I'm not trying to do anything bad. A few months after this, he ended up telling me he had a knife in his room, and that made me feel really unsafe. And he was like, oh yeah, it's because for protection, because I need protection. And I was like, you do realise that I don't feel comfortable now. So props for not doing anything bad there. And I said, you want a relationship, and I can't do that. To which he replied, but it's not a relationship. I just want the stupid little things. I want to be able to put my arm around you in private while watching something and not worry that it's going to be weird or something. But no, I'm not looking for a relationship. Like, honestly, it's so bad. I feel like half these things, I feel like people think I'm just going to make these up because they're that bad. Because then he turns around after I try and get rid of him. It takes about 10 minutes for me to be like, right, I've had enough. Please leave me alone. This is different, actually, I say. I just need to be alone. And he just keeps texting me. And then a few days later, he says, oh, lasagna tomorrow night? As if everything is fine. But everything was not fine. But he still didn't realise it. And anyway, as a conclusion to the story, we are no longer friends because he followed me home from Spoons one day and sat outside my window, even after I'd asked him to leave. And he was very creepy, and I now no longer talk to him. And I really hope he doesn't watch my videos. So yeah, that's the end of this one. Didn't cry, which is always a bonus. I did promise in the start of this I wouldn't cry. And as much as this is horrible, I didn't cry. And I have no clue what I'm doing with my life. So it's all good.